Released April 26, 2024 on PC and May 2nd, 2024 on PS5 by solo developer Antonio Esparcia Ibarra and publisher Perp Games. Jack Holmes, Master of Puppets is a love it or hate it kind of affair. There's just no middle ground with this one. It's an indie passion project created by a one-man army, and although really irritating at times, I powered through to the end and I'm glad I did. Thanks to the publisher for the Steam key. Be on the lookout for The Lab Video Game TV Season 12 coming to Flow 1 in 25 Caribbean countries. Visit the website at thelabvideogametv.com. Reach out at contact@thelabvideogametv.com. Download the Flow Sports app to watch us on the go. Check out the Lab Video Game TV's gaming news, Thursdays 3 to 5 p.m. on the Sage Projects, on Ontario's Island Radio 101.3 FM, and at cjai.ca. Now, let's enter the world of Jack Holmes, Master of Puppets. Jack Holmes, Master of Puppets is one very bizarre creation. Not necessarily in a bad way, but bizarre nonetheless. These oddities are presented to you from the get-go.
I've had such a good nap.
Let's start with the story. It makes no sense, and I doubt the dev wanted it to. You're Jack Holmes, an out-of-work man who joins his family business, a business he walked away from since he was young. You take on your first case, and things quickly go downhill from there. Now, I didn't really figure out what I'm saying to you from experience. No, I read it in the press kit. None of this is clearly told in-game. But other than the intro, the game pays no attention to the story as you progress. Things just happen. Your character may say some stuff, you may read a few documents, but none of it added up for me. The most ridiculous part of the story for me, and it shouldn't be based on all the crazy things that went down here, are how many times Jack could have left this increasingly horrifying experience, just simply walked away, but he just kept going deeper and deeper. Take for example after the house exploded. Before he arrives at the amusement park, he was outside. There was nothing stopping him from just saying, "Forget this," and head home. But no, like the idiot soon-to-be victim in just about every horror film, he just kept going. Guess all the terrifying stuff he experienced prior to that was just the wind.
The truth is, I'm not having a bad time either.
Here's the thing about the story, the entire game really. I'm to this point still not certain if this is supposed to be a comedy. I mean, the publisher kinda hinted at this when giving me the key, so maybe this is just one of those it's not that serious kind of things that I'm taking too seriously.
It seems that Frederick based the puppets on a design by Marlene.
Over in sound, there's good and there's some bad. I guess this is what we refer to in the gaming realm as jank. Oh, and this game is full of that.
In the evenings, they gathered in front of the fire to tell scary stories.
The voice acting, particularly for our protagonist, is so very, very bad. The jury's still out on whether this was AI or just a really bad voice actor. Either way, it was so bad.
Hundreds and hundreds of books in strange languages.
And every time you wanted a first aid kit and there was none, instead of just a quick text or audio prompt, Jack would say, "I'm out of first aid kits." Now, you know, maybe it's just me, but that got more irritating than it probably had any right to be.
I'm out of large first aid kits. I'm out of small first aid kits. I'm out of large first aid kits.
The score was good though, and so were the sound effects, except for those footsteps. There are parts in this game that left me wondering if the dev was trolling players. Jack walks like either a drunk or a zombie, or both, a drunk zombie. Walking felt bad and the sounds matched. I kept wondering what exactly Jack looked like while walking. I found a mirror once and I had to check it out. But yeah, walking and even running just felt so bad. It was like he was dragging his feet, very similar to how we see zombies in films like The Walking Dead do it. This was particularly noticeable when walking on surfaces that should have dirt or gravel. love the visuals. They're no groundbreaking current-gen pushing hardware to the limit visuals, but that's not a requirement of mine. If it looks good, it looks good, and this game looks great. Yeah, it does look like it could run on a 360. Okay, maybe first gen PS4, but still, Jack Holmes' Master of Puppets is an incredibly atmospheric release, and I can see where the developer put a lot of work into aesthetics. There's some really awkward animations though. The jank I mentioned. Jack's hands when running, when jumping, when opening a door, and when crouching to pick something up. Over in gameplay, in settings we've got resolution settings, FOV, graphics, sound, gameplay settings, and controls. I can tell that controller support was kinda an afterthought, simply the way you navigate the opening menu. The controls are really bad with a controller or mouse and keyboard, particularly aiming. Aiming is so bad. It's perhaps the most irritating part of this experience, whether you aim down sights or from the hip. It gets this bad. Okay, what you're seeing here is what happens almost every time I aim down sights. I'm not doing this. I aim down sights and Jack starts spinning. Remember I said walking sounds and feels like you're drunk? Well, so does aiming. It's really bad. I didn't mention this when talking about the visuals, but Jack Holmes' Master of Puppets is also one really dark game in many sections. And there are no brightness or gamma settings. This is one of those rare occasions where in order to get the brightness level up, I had to adjust the display on my monitor. The flashlight barely helps. There are autosaves at certain points, but we also have these save points in the form of telephones. This game takes such an unconventional approach to just about everything. It's like the dev had an idea, a particular way he sees fit for game design that goes completely against the grain, against most of what we're used to. So, I wasn't surprised to see this extended to the save points as well. By this I mean, in many instances, one could easily walk right by a save point without even knowing it was there. The same goes for items. When compared to games like Resident Evil and such, where the save points were always in a kinda obvious place, at least to those familiar with the genre. But here, I'm pretty certain I missed a few. Take this for example. When the game starts out, you save at these classic looking phones. Then later on, it's a phone box. And this is also how the puzzles are treated. Yeah, the puzzles got under my skin after a while.
Only be safe on the dark. I should turn off the lamps.
This can be completed in around 3 hours, but that's if you already know where everything is, like a second playthrough. One might argue that this is subjective, and it probably is, but I don't feel bad at all. I've got a lot of company, because although I went through this entire experience from start to end credits, and yes, it took me about 13 hours to do so, I feel no shame. Steam records show that less than 30% of players to the time of this production completed Jack Holmes' Master of Puppets. Most players clearly quit out of frustration. Jack Holmes' Master of Puppets has a sink or swim, love it or hate it, take it or leave it feel to it. Not that the dev did not care whether you liked it or not, as clearly there was time, passion, and effort put into this, but that the dev held steadfast to his vision, and I admire that, because flaws and all, this is a really good game at its core. It's just made for the few instead of the many, and there are advantages to that. Much like everything else in this title, there isn't much of a tutorial either. So while this is a generally vague and unstructured experience, that does add an element of suspense and, dare I say, realism. Understand though, this is far from a realistic experience, like the fact that you can shoot some blocks off but others you can't. The unrealism list could literally go on and on. The opposition is creatively designed. you'll face creepy puppets, spiders, and a few other things that are kinda hard to describe. If you suffer from arachnophobia, steer clear though. When I just started playing for the first hour or so, a very common thought popped into my head. This would be great in VR. After the first couple of spider encounters, however, I quickly changed my tune. I mentioned the atmosphere earlier. Jack Holmes, master of puppets, is filled to the brim with atmosphere and scare factor. There's some truly well-designed scares here, and not just cheap jump scares either. I'm talking about some really creepy stuff. Jack Holmes, Master of Puppets is by no means a great game, but the potential on display here tells me this. The developer is capable of greatness. He's definitely headed in the right direction. To create this all on his own, imagine what he could do with a capable team and an actual AAA budget. Look, I really want to call this a good game. I really do. But I can't, because technically it's not. It's just so janky and senseless. And as a reviewer, I have to accept this responsibility. The responsibility that, although I don't have a million viewers, there are some folks out there who are influenced by my reviews. People actually thank me for my recommendations and warnings. So if I say, hey, this is a great game, then you go buy it and end up commenting, what the hell did you just make me do? I'm gonna experience some guilt brought on by my irresponsible and negligent actions. I can, however, say this with confidence. As irritated as I became with Jack Holmes, Master of Puppets, as many WTF moments as I experienced, I do really like this game. The platforming sections were annoying. The puzzles were the kind that, after you solved them, left you asking yourself, why didn't I figure this out sooner? Based on the developer's non-traditional approach to puzzle solving. There were mini-games that you may have thought were puzzles and required gameplay aspects, but they were simply there for achievement hunting. There were sections where you went on these long rides that were ultimately pointless. I can keep going, but I won't. With all those quirks, Jack Holmes still gets a thumbs up from me. Game progression, as senseless as it was still impressive. It was also a linear experience, but I quite like linear experiences. The boss fights were just the way I like them, easy. So, let me wrap this self-contradictory review up by saying, Jack Holmes, Master of Puppets, has many flaws, but it was also well worth the playthrough. It's priced at US $14.99 on Steam and $19.99 on PS5. So at this price point, and what's on offer here, I'd say it's a good deal and money well spent. Watch Season 12 of The Lab Video Game TV coming soon to Flow One in 25 Caribbean countries. Visit the website at thelabvideogametv.com. Reach out at contact@thelabvideogametv.com. Download the Flow Sports app to watch us on the go. Check out The Lab Video Game TV's gaming news Thursdays 3 to 5 p.m. on The Sage Projects on Ontario's Island Radio 101.3 FM and cjai.ca. Thank you for watching. If you like my content, feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Let's say on the other hand, I found a way to piss you off with this one. Then, my friend, the logical course of action would be to dislike, unsub, and perhaps leave a feisty comment voicing your disdain and displeasure. No worries though, I won't hold it against you. our game is never over.